Hello, I'm Ron Douglas, and I'm the show producer for the Self Reliance Expo. And every year, one of the big events is the bread baking competition. Since it's open to the public, it draws a lot of attention. You can find the rules online at our website, selfrelianceexpo.com. And basically, a quick rundown is you bake some bread, you bring in the recipe, and it's judged, and you have a chance of winning a Country Living grain mill this year. And so I thought that since Country Living Grain Mill sent it and they asked me to pull it out, test it, and actually have it at the expo for people to use, even though this is the prize, they want it to be used so that people can see how well it works. So they asked me to try it out. So what I did is I had a couple other mills in the house, and I thought, you know, I'm going to do a quick test just to see how it compares. And I can tell you right now, it's really impressive. So, but I will go over a couple other mills real quick first of all. The Kitchen Aid has an attachment. I believe it's $99 for the attachment. It's cast. It's cast, and it attaches to the front here. We have a Kitchen Aid Professional Heavy Duty. Is the Kitchen Aid we have. But I will tell you, and I don't know if it was just because of the attachment or not, but our machine is now permanently louder since we've used this. So I don't know if it was, you know, just the time for the machine to get louder, or if it was this that actually made it that way. But it is now louder. I don't like the fact that it's kind of an afterthought. If you notice, the wheat comes out, or the flour comes out right here. And if you can see, here's the base of the Kitchen Aid. So you either have to have a big bowl that kind of goes over, but I think they should have kind of turned it so that it actually poured into the bowl that it's attached, or turned it this way so that you can have it out here on the counter. So you're kind of always fighting this base. I don't really like that, and I don't like the fact that the flour comes out pretty coarse. Even if you turn it down to where you're supposed to, it still comes out kind of coarse. You have to run it through twice. Another limitation on it is it only does 10 cups, and then you have to let it cool down for 45 minutes. 10 cups is usually enough, but it is a limitation. The other one that we have is the Wondermill Junior. It's called the Wondermill Junior Deluxe, and it comes with this countertop attachment, and it's a pretty decent machine. Its price is at $220, is retail. But there's a couple of things that I don't like about it, especially for the self-reliant individuals out there that are looking for a long-term quality product, and I'll mention a couple of those. First of all, it's got these rivet-type pins, and those are not very impressive. I don't like that. I think that's a failure point. I think that they can fall out. They can loosen. There's nothing to keep them tight other than the tension on the metal. If you look here, this is here's their stone setup. But one of the things is plastic. The handle's plastic, and if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but we've already got a small crack in the front of the plastic, so I don't like that. Hear that? It's kind of thin. It's made in India. The stones actually leave a noticeable amount of debris in your flour, so that's another concern I don't like, is the fact that it leaves a lot more stone than I was expecting in my flour. So other than that, I mean, for a $220, I mean, it's a pretty entry-level wheat grinder or grain mill, and it can get you into the game pretty decent. Like you said, it's at $220. So it's okay, but there is a couple of things that you might want to upgrade. You might want to upgrade the bolts. These are not very impressive bolts. You might want to put a pad underneath here so you don't get in trouble for scratching your wife's counter like I did. So they have a pad underneath here, or they can have a pad underneath here, but they didn't provide one. So it does scratch the countertop even if you have it secure. And then upgrade this from this plastic thing to something a little bit more heavy duty. And then we come to Country Living, and in my opinion, this is probably one of the best wheat grinders out there on the market for the price. I believe this one's $379, $400, somewhere in there. It's a great grinder. Again, if you notice, the last thing I mentioned on the other one was plastic. You won't find that on this one. Everything's heavy duty. This is made in the USA, not India. And it shows. The quality of the build shows. It's a huge difference. Night and day. Of course, it does cost a little bit more, but there are a couple of things that are very, very beneficial. One of the things is this V-ribbed wheel. You can actually attach a electric motor to this one and have it running on electric. Very slick, and they do have an electric upgrade. If you do that to the Wondermill Junior Deluxe, it does void the warranty. So there's no way to actually attach an electric setup to the Wondermill. The other thing, again, the Wondermill is very, very tough to turn, very hard to turn, where this one turns super easy. I'm using my weak hand, my left, with my left. And it turns very easy. I'm not pushing on it very hard at all. Matter of fact, my kids actually came and did it. But it does help that I have this power bar. It's called the power bar. This is an extension. This is an additional price, but they're including it in the prize. Is this power bar, and it actually makes a pretty good difference. It actually makes it probably twice as easy to turn by adding just this little piece. So we did try it without it, and then we added it, and it makes a difference. So again, I like the fact that it's got grade 8 bolts, and it does have the V belt set up so that you can hook it up to an electric motor. I like that it's American made in the USA. And the one thing that I'm a little trying to figure out here is the counter. As you can see, I just kind of did a temporary thing. So if I was to keep this in my home, I'd do a little bit more permanent. But I just attached it to some wood and some C-clamps just to test it out and show you guys what it's about. But anyway, other than that, the wheat turns out, or the flour turns out really nice. My wife really likes the flour. I don't know if you can see it in there, but turns out pretty good. And it's very fine. So we really like this one, and I'm sure you guys will too. And if you're a bread baker, this is the one you want. So if you want to win a Country Living grain mill, come on down to the Self Reliance Expo, April 8th and 9th at the National Western Complex. Thanks. Talk to you later.